Hello everyone, my name is Lori, and today we're going to do a sequence for shoulders and your hips and your spine. So let's get started. So we're going to need two blocks and a strap. I put my 2 blocks and straps out there so I get any. All right. So if you want to, you could sit on the blocks just at the beginning while we set the breath. It just makes easy pose easier, so you can just sit up straight, basically. So, and if it feels better to have your legs straight, do whatever you need to do for your knees. If it hurts to have your knees bent, then straighten your legs out in front of you. So just close your eyes or light eye gaze down and just sort of check out your alignment here. Ears in line with the shoulders, shoulders in line with the ribs, ribs in line with the hips, right? And just start to notice your breath. Notice the breath coming in and the breath going out. Notice where you feel your breath. Do you feel it in your nose, throat, back, chest, belly, sides of the body? Where do you feel your breath? Don't try to do anything special, just trying to notice what's there. Is there any rhythm to your breath? Is it even, or it might be a little erratic because you've been running around? Just noticing that. So let's work on 3-part breath a little bit here. So we're going to expand the belly. Think about expanding all the way around. Breathe in through your nose, exhale through your mouth. So let's try that. Just kind of focus right here, expanding the belly. Breathe in through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Let's try that a few times. Now expand the belly, expand the ribs like fingers wrapping around the back. Breathe in through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Maybe imagine a pitcher of water filling up halfway. It's a big exhale through the mouth. Now expand the belly, expand the ribs, breathe into the heart center, breathe in through your nose, and when you exhale through your nose, gently close your mouth. You'll feel more in the back of the throat now, and it'll sound more like a snore than sort of a ha sound. It'll sound more like a little snore or the ocean. So let's try that a few times. Expand the belly, expand the ribs, breathe into the heart center, breathe in through your nose, exhale with your mouth closed. Now you just relax your face, relax your jaw muscles. Try that a few times. Now filling up that pitcher of water all the way. This big breath that you're doing, try to do this with all the poses that we go through, and if you can't take the big breath, that's a sign that you're too deep into the stretch and need to back up a little bit so you can match your movement and breath. So let's come off the blocks, if you're on the blocks, and we'll just bring the arms up. Take a breath in and breath out. So palms up when you inhale, palms down when you exhale, just taking the arms wide. Follow your breath, the flow of your breath. bring the arms up, take a breath in, and we'll go to the side. Lateral stretch to the side. So try to line up the shoulders the best you can. That might mean you need to come up a little bit to go directly side. Still have those ribs lined up, right? Come on up, take a breath in, and we'll go to the left, exhale. If it bothers your shoulder to have your arm stretched out, you can always bend the arm or put it back to the hip. You don't want to be in pain in your shoulders or your neck. So be thinking about that. And bring the arms up. Take a breath in, and we're going to twist to the left, starting with the left hand on the right knee, right hand behind. So start from the belly and then the ribs on the exhale. Chest, shoulders, and then the head. You can always look side if it bothers you to look over your shoulder. Grip your fingers behind you. Breathe into the spine. Breathe into the belly. All right, bring the arms up, take a breath in. And then we'll go to the left, starting from the belly, ribs, chest, shoulder, and then the head. So think about being right on top of those sit bones. You don't want to lean forward or lean back. Nice and tall in your seated twist. And let that go. And just bring the hands behind, point the fingers behind, and we'll just take a breath. Belly, ribs, chest, open the heart towards the sky. Bring the shoulder blades back towards each other. Open up the heart towards the sky. So you could look up or you could kind of look forward. Just do what's right for your neck. You want to hold the muscles of the neck so you're not just flopping the head back. Take some nice deep breaths here. This is a good one for building a deep breath. You're trying to build your breath, get deeper breaths. This is the one to go to. You can pause at the top of the breath. Just a pause. Pause at the bottom of the breath. If it feels okay. Anytime with all this breathing, if it doesn't feel right, you just go back to your normal breath. All right, let that go. And let's go ahead and switch legs. So left foot in front. And take the arms up. Take a breath in and a breath out. Follow your breath. Palms up when you reach overhead. Palms down when you reach down by your sides. Bring the arms overhead, take a breath in, and we're going to go to the left this time. Exhale, lateral stretch to the left. So think about where you can be, where you can go directly side. Remember your modification if you need it. And if you have your arm by your ear, really lengthen it out, really reach your fingers. Get a real good stretch there. And bring the arms up, take a breath in, and we'll go to the right exhale, or whatever way you did do. I'm going to turn around in a minute so you don't have to reverse in your head or anything. All right, bring the arms up, take a breath in, and we'll go to the left this time. Right hand on left knee, and we'll exhale and twist to the left. So stay here for a couple of breaths. Notice where you feel. What you feel, breathe into that space. Talk to yourself. Wherever there is tension, kind of highlight that place and breathe into that spot. Talk to yourself, soften, let go, release. Or any image, bring the arms overhead, take a breath in. And we'll twist to the right. Left hand on right knee, right hand behind. Exhale and twist. It doesn't have to be words, it could be images that help you to soften, relax the body. And let that go. Bring the hands behind, point the fingers behind. And take a breath in. Belly, ribs, chest. Open the heart towards the sky. Take some deep breaths here. let that go. So I think we're going to come up onto our hands and knees. So I'm going to face this way so you don't have to reverse things. So we're going to bring the right leg back and tuck the toe. We're in table. First we're in table. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Turn the creases of your elbows to face each other so you don't lock out your arms. Now bring right foot back, tuck the toe, and bring left arm out, thumb up, and bird dog here. So you can keep the foot on the ground, and then when we come in round and tuck, you can put it back on the ground if you want to, right? Or you can lift the leg up. So haul out the front of the body, find that spot. We'll hold it here for a couple of breaths. And go ahead and round and tuck your chin. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen, and then we'll take it out to the diagonal. So arm to leg. And then back to center. And we'll do child pose in between here. Knees wide, big toes together. Set your hips back towards your heels. Exhale. This pose has lots of good benefits to do at home. It's good for the lower back. It's good for the legs. Stretching the legs, stretching the knees, and stretching. It's good for insomnia. All right, come on back up. And bring the left leg back, tuck the toes, bring the right arm forward, thumb up, right? And if you want to lift that leg up, you can. Hollow out the front of the body. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. Tighten the Kegel muscles, lift the pelvic floor. Line the shoulders, line the hips. And then we'll round, exhale, tuck the chin. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen, and then we'll take it out to the diagonals with the arm and the leg. And back. So we'll do a puppy stretch in between. Actually, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do puppy stretch in between. So go ahead and grab your blocks. And we're going to bring the right leg forward. So we're going to do a lunge here. So knee over ankle, right foot's forward, knee over ankle, and we're going to slide the left knee back. And you can use blocks here and put the blocks underneath your shoulders. And you can put them on the high level if you want to. So just slide that left knee back as much as you can so you can drop the hips down. Lift the chest. Even if we're leaning forward, still lift the chest and lengthen the spine, right? So let's give it a few breaths. You can push into the top of that foot. That takes a little weight off of the knee and activates that hip flexor a little bit more. So just make sure your knee isn't going past your toe. You want to have a line there with the knee and the ankle. So you might need to walk the toes forward a little bit. You might need to. So keeping everything where it is, just all you're going to do is shift your hips back and straighten that front leg. The only thing you're doing is walking your blocks back underneath your shoulders. So now the right leg is straight, that foot is flexed, toes pointed towards the ceiling. You're getting our hamstring stretch now. So lengthen the spine, breathe into the tight places. Still looking past the mat, still keeping the head in line with the spine, right? All right, so don't do anything but shift your hips forward, keep the feet right where they are. So shift your hips forward into your lunge. Notice where you feel any tension, breathe into that spot. If you have lower back issues, this is a good one to take home with you and go back and forth and do that. And seated twists are good for lower back stuff. All right, let's come on back and walk the blocks back. Toes pointed towards the ceiling. Lengthen the spine. Notice where you feel it. Breathe into that space. All right, move forward one more time. Shift your weight forward. Bend that right knee. Lengthen the back leg. Just a few breaths here. All right, let's change sides. Bring left leg forward. Slide the right knee back. Try to drop the hips as much as you can without pain. All right, just shift the hips back and straighten the left leg, flex the left toes. You can always come up, take a breath, and then come over again that leg. See how deep you can go, but without pain, right? Without strain. All right, shift the weight forward. We're always trying to progress things, but just in increments so we don't hurt ourselves, right? All right, shift back. Walk the block back underneath your shoulders. Straighten that left leg, toes pointed towards the ceiling. Lengthen the spine. All right, one more time, forward for a couple of breaths. All right, we'll let that go. And we're going to come onto our, you can do this a couple different ways. You could start a table and tuck your toes, right? We're trying to stretch our feet here. So you can shift your hips back, so you shift your butt more towards your heels and get a good stretch in your feet. Or you could bring the blocks underneath your shoulders and sort of sit up straight and tuck your toes. This is more intense, so if you do this, you can push on the blocks and lift your weight up, right? But either way, we're just trying to stretch the feet. Tuck the toes and stretch the feet. Give it a few breaths here. Nice full breath in and out through your nose, belly to throat. Shoulders over hips, unless you're in table. So you can do it in table if you want. All right, so we're just going to push on these blocks and push ourselves up into a flat back. So the blocks are going to go right underneath your shoulders. Lengthen the spine. The legs are right underneath your hip bones. Toes pointed forward. If you wanted to, you can lift the arms off the blocks and you're in a flat back. The arms are extended out to the side. If you need to bend your knees, that's fine. Bend your knees a little bit. So feel the energy going out the fingers, out the crown of the head, out the base of the spine, grounding in through the floor, through the feet. Grip those toes. Go ahead and round over. So we're in a forward fold now. Hands are underneath our shoulders. You could have your blocks underneath your shoulders. And you shift your weight over the balls of your feet. The hips are high. We're doing forward fold here. And the crown of the head is going towards the ground. If you need to bend your knees a little bit, that's fine. This is a great one for if you're tired in the middle of the afternoon. Just hang over, change the blood flow, wake you up a little bit. All right, go ahead and bend the knees, come up with a flat back inhale. Hands to heart center. All right, so let's go ahead and put the blocks up front. We're going to do sun salutations. So I'm going to move my mat over just a little bit. All right, so come more to the front of the mat here. So we're in mountain pose. Lift up through your thighs. Maybe feel like you're wrapping your thighs around here. Palms are forward or facing your thighs. Lifting up through the arches of the feet, all the way up the legs. Shoulders over hips. Lift your chest, belly button to spine. So you can lift up your toes, feel the inner outer edges of your feet, and then put your toes back down and grip your toes as long as we're standing. Take a breath. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out. Look up at the thumbs. If you want to do a little baby back bend, exhale. Tighten the butt to protect the back. So we're going to reach forward and bend your knees if you need to. Forward fold, exhale. Hands on your shins, inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Coming back into your plank push-up position. Hollow out the front of the body. So we'll stay here for a moment. So if you wanted to be on your knees, that's okay. If you wanted to be on your forearms, elbows underneath your shoulders, that's okay. So do what's good for you. So we're going to hold this for about 10 counts. 1, looking past the mat, keeping the head in line with the spine. 2, hands underneath your shoulders, grip your fingers. 3, belly button spine, lift the pelvic floor, tighten the Kegel muscles. 5, feel that lengthening from the crown of the head all the way to the tips of the toes. 6, breathe, don't hold your breath. 7, 8, keep your butt down as much as you can. 9, and 10. Come up to the toes, drop to the knees, hug the body with the elbows, lower the floor. So we're just going to take the hands here, we're going to palms down, and we're just going to lift up the upper body, just the chest, lift up the chest, bring the shoulder blades towards one another. Feet stay down, tighten the butt, breathe, notice where you can breathe, the chest, back of the body. Hands underneath the shoulders, push back, tuck toes, hips up and back, down at dog. Chin towards your chest, chest towards your thighs, heels towards the floor. Pushing away from the wrists and the forearms. Go ahead and roll through this feet here. Stretch your calves. Shift your hips a little bit. Breathe in and out through your nose, belly to throat. Grip your fingers. Sternally rotate your shoulders, which just means you're going to turn the elbows a little bit more towards the mat. And if this bothers your back, you can always go back into child pose or back to table anytime we do down dog. So remember that. All right, let's walk our feet underneath us. Hands on your shins, inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, come up with a flat back inhale. Hands to heart center. Reclaim your mountain, grip those feet, lengthen the spine, take a breath in. Baby back bend, exhale. Reach forward, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Hands on your shins, inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back to that plank position, hollow out the front of the body. So this time again, if you wanted to go to your knees or go to your forearms, elbows underneath your shoulders, you can do that holding plank. Or you could do mountain climbers with me. So knee towards opposite elbow. So we're not twisting the spine, we're just doing an inward rotation of the leg and the hip. Try to keep the butt down as much as you can. All right, take a breath in. Come up to the toes, drop to the knees, hug the body with the elbows, lower to the floor. Coming up to cobra this time. Hands underneath your shoulders. And breathe here. Couple of breaths. If that doesn't feel good, remember you can go back to just lifting the hands up if that felt better. All right, push back, tuck toes, hips up and back, down dog or child pose. Give it 5 breaths, in and out through your nose, belly to throat. All right, walk your feet underneath you. Hands on your shins, inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, come up with a flat back inhale. Hands to heart center. Reclaim that mountain again, take a breath in. This time we're gonna go to chair pose. So butt is back, chest is lifted, shoulders down, knees over ankles, toes pointed forward. You can go, your chair can be 45 degrees, right? You don't have to go into a big deep chair. Palms down, you can have your hands heart center or back to your thighs if you wanted. Find that spot. Let's breathe 5 breaths. Hands to heart center. Keep those bent knees and come on over to a forward fold. Exhale. And we're going to step back to a plank position. Hollow out the front of the body. We're not going to hold it this time. Just have a nice strong plank. Lift up through the armpits. Come up to the toes. Drop to the knees. Hug the body with the elbows. Lower to the floor. Coming up to cobra. And then pushing back to down dog. Give this a few breaths here. We're going to bring up the right leg and open up the right hip, chest towards the thigh. And then we're going to swoop that leg through to where your hands are. Check your knee ankle alignment into a runner's lunge. Just take your time. You can use your blocks if you need to, right? So you can step that back leg in just a little bit, all right? And then we're going to come up to warrior 1. So warrior 1, toes are pointed forward on this one. Knee over ankle, hips are in line. Push into your feet, ground into your feet. Everybody's looking good, strong warriors. Start us off for the new year. All right, come on down. Go back to your plank position. Hollow out the front of the body. Come up to the toes, drop to the knees. Hug the body with the elbows, lower to the floor, coming up to cobra. And push back to down dog. Hips up and back. Remember, I don't know if I said this before, but you can bend your knees with down dog. You can take your legs a little wider if that feels more accessible. Give it a few breaths here. So we're going to bring the left leg up now, 3-legged dog, but the hips open, and then nice stretch there, chest towards your thigh. And then we'll bring the leg through to where your hands are. So left leg forward, and a runner's lunge. All right, so we're going to put that, we can bring the back foot in a little bit and then walk up the leg, make it a little easier on the balance there. So check your knee ankle alignment, push into your feet, shoulders down, everybody's looking good. You can put your hands anywhere you want. You can put them heart center, right? That feels better. Do what's good for your shoulders, your neck. All right, come on back down. Back to that plank position. Hollow out the front of the body. Coming up to the toes. Drop to the knees. Hug the body with the elbows lower to the floor. Coming up to cobra. Push back to down dog or child pose or table. Whatever feels good for you to get a nice, good breath in. 5 breaths. In and out through your nose, belly to throat. Filling up that pitcher of water. All right, walk your feet underneath you. And bend your knees, come up with a flat back inhale. So we're going to step back into warrior 2. So we're going to try to line up the heels the best we can here. But if you need to take it a little bit wider, that's fine. Accommodate your hips however you want. Just don't cross behind, all right? So back foot is, it's not 90. It's the heel is turned out a little bit. So you can turn that hip down and keep that knee over your ankle. So let's just do straight and bend here for a minute, a little flow. Push into the back edge of that foot. That's going to give you a lot of balance. So exhale when you bend, inhale when you straighten. So we'll go ahead and stay here for about 6 breaths. So if your arms get tired, you can just bring them down, right? Push into those feet. Lift the pelvic floor. Come on, soften the shoulders down. Take some deep breaths. Strong warrior. Relax where you can relax. Be strong where you need to be strong, right? Don't use it. Focus your energy. All right, so let's go ahead here. Come to side angle. So elbow to knee or hand to thigh. Right hand starts on your hip. Reach up towards the sky and over towards your ear. Now, if this doesn't feel good for your shoulder, remember you could just reach up, or your hand can go back to your hip, or you could reach behind you. So whatever position feels good. So the thing about here is, everybody's doing it pretty good. You got to watch that top shoulder, right? You don't want your top shoulder to go forward. So let's come on up. And we'll go ahead and straighten the leg. Wiggle the hips a little bit. Send that right hip a little bit to the right. Reach, 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 and then windmill to triangle. So again, on triangle, you could bend that front knee if that feels better. You could bring the hand to the thigh if that helps you to pull that right side back better, right? You don't want the arm to come forward. So you don't want this where the shoulder's coming forward. You want to align the shoulders. So that might mean you need to come back up a little bit to align those shoulders, right? All right, come on up. Bend that knee, pivot on the back foot, and step in. And step back the other way. So line your heels, arms over legs. Remember, if you need to take a little wider stance, take a little wider stance. Back foot's turned in some, not totally 90, a little bit pigeon. And then bend and straighten your knee. Exhale when you bend, inhale when you straighten. Find your flow, matches your breath. All right, we'll stay here. 6 breaths. Bottom to the top, in and out through the nose. Push into that back foot. That's going to help you with balance. Aim that knee towards the baby toe. That's going to open up the upper thigh there. Aim that knee towards the baby toe. Not your toes are just forward. You don't want to turn out your toes. Toes are forward, but just imagine aiming the knee towards the baby toe. All right, bring the elbow to knee or hand to thigh. Start with the hand on the hip. Reach up towards the sky, over towards your ear. Breathe. Breathe where you feel it. Lift the chest here, lengthen the spine. All right, slowly coming up. And then we straighten the leg, wiggle the hips a little bit. Send the left hip a little bit to the left. Reach, 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 and then windmill to triangle. So again, remember you can bend that front knee on triangle. You can have your hand on your thigh. So find that spot, just not on your knee bone. Hips are underneath you. Can you be between 2 plates of glass right now? Think about that. All right, activate the abs. Come up. Bend that front knee, pivot on the back foot. Hello. And step in. Shake it out. Again, go ahead, drink of water if you need to drink of water. All right, so let's do a little balancing. So let's do tree pose today. So lift up your heel, turn out your knee, and then stack that foot. So you can stay there for your tree pose. You don't have to go any further. If you want to put it below the knee or above the knee, you could. Find your focal point. It's going to be about 4 feet, 6 feet in front of you on the ground. Don't drop your eyes. I mean, drop your eyes, but don't drop your head. Head stays on top of the spine. Lift that chest. Sometimes it almost feels like you're lifting the chest more than you need to have your shoulders over your hips, but I think a lot of times Don't look at anybody else. Just look at that focal point. Grip your toes. Tighten the abs. Tighten the pelvic floor. Try to be light and strong at the same time. Remember, low micro bend in the standing knee. You don't want to lock out the knee. Shoulders over hips. Feel that energy going out the fingers, into the ground, out the crown of the head. Come on back. Shake it out a little bit. And we'll try the other side. Lift the left heel, turn out the left knee, and then stack. You can stack that left heel on top of the right ankle and stay right there with the ball of the foot on the floor and the heel up. You can put it below or above the knee, just not on the knee. Find where you want your hands, you want to grow your branches. Breathe, don't hold your breath, right? Hands to heart center. And we're going to come on down to the ground. So let's take a breath in and come over, take a breath out. Grab your elbows, do a little ragdoll stretch. And then come on down. So we're going to do a little stretch here. So we'll take your blocks and we're going to put them a little bit behind us. And we're just going to push our hips forward and try to keep those shoulders over your wrists. Just get a good front stretched body. You're going to take your blocks back. Now, if that seems too much, you can do this. Come up onto your knees and like put your hands in your jean pockets, right? And then you just start from here. Lifting, 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 lifting. Open the heart towards the sky. Camel pose. So tighten the butt. Hands in your back jean pockets. You don't want to use the blocks the way I showed first. This is a great way to do it. Lifting up, up, up. Open the heart. All right, come on back down. And we're going to go back into puppy stretch, which we did at the beginning. So I'm just going to walk your legs out from a table and lengthen your spine. Spread your fingers, grip the floor. So your hips are over your knees and we're lengthening the spine. Now, if you want to go into full puppy, you know how your dog does it. Chest towards the ground, hips flip up, and tighten the abs. Now, if it bothers your shoulder, just keep backing up to that point where you don't feel pain, but you feel lengthened and challenged. All right, walk your hands back underneath you. And we're going to just work a little bit on the back here. So work on, come on down. And we're going to just first come down onto our belly. Let's get used to being on our belly first. So we'll do alligator. So just put your head on your hands here and just kind of get used to this position for a moment. Notice any pulsations, sensations you might feel. Since we've been standing up, it's good when you change from the standing to the sitting to give yourself time to adjust to the new normal. All right, we're going to just do a little cobra pose. So hands underneath your shoulders, and we're just going to push up. So hug the elbows towards the body. Grip those fingers and just lift the upper body. Like if that bothers you, remember you can go back to just lifting the arms up. If you don't want to lift up too high. All right, let that go. And let's go ahead and push back into child pose from there. Knees wide, big toes together. Set your hips back towards your heels. I want to do a little bit of boat. I think we can get a little bit of boat in here. Let's try. All right, so we're going to feet flat, or you can have your heels up. You could lean back. So you want to lean back like someone's grabbing you by your chest and they have a string and they're lifting your chest and lengthening your spine. You could reach here and bring your legs up if you wanted to. You could do taps if you like to keep yourself busy. Like we do, right? Give yourself something to think about while you're not thinking about holding, right? But the main thing is don't curve the chest, right? We're straightening, lengthening. If you feel like you're going to fall back, then you curve and tuck and turn into a ball. But otherwise, it's very lengthened and the chest is lifted. So go around and round over, give yourself a little hug. Now let's do that again. Again, you could just tap toes, or if you wanted to hold it, you could hold it up here for 6 breaths. So 6 breaths, no matter what you do. Let that go. Go ahead and round over. Give yourself a hug. All right. So I'm just going to stay this way because we're going to do a seated twist. So just come over, round over for a second. And you can bend your knees as much as you need to. Grab wherever along the leg feels good. And just now we're looking at the knees, rounding the shoulders. Just doing an easy, soft stretch here. And if you need to bend your knees, you could bend your knees as much as you need to and just lay your chest on your thighs there. Get more of a lower back stretch. If you want to get more into the hamstrings, then straighten the legs more. And we'll let that go. So I'm going to do a little bit of come back to the back here. We're going to do a little bridge pose. So let's use the block here so we don't have to work so hard. So you'll see how it feels. If it doesn't feel good, then you could do bridge pose where you're rolling up the spine and rolling down the spine. And you're going to just always look up towards the ceiling. You don't want to look right or left because that's not good for your neck. But we're going to put the block underneath the hips here. And put it on the flat level. The flattest level. Palms are up and the knees are up and the feet are flat on the floor. Knees over ankles. And we're just looking up at the ceiling, closing our eyes. Just giving our spine a little bit of decompression here. If it doesn't feel right to you, always come out of it. Listen to your body, listen to your warning system that we have. All right, go ahead and lift up the hips and take out the block and roll down the spine. All right, I'm going to turn towards the mirror just so you guys can follow on this. We're going to do another twist. We're going to do it. I don't know if we did a twist yet, but we're going to do a twist. All right. So let's lay on our back. We're on our back, but just bring your knees to your chest and just rock a little bit and get used to being on our back here. All right, so we're going to roll over to the right side in a fetal position. Only thing different about the fetal position is the back is straight, the head is in line with the spine here. We're going to clap your hands in front of you, line up the shoulders, stack the knees, stack the hips, stack the ankles. Now we're going to bring the left hand to the left ribs. Right hand can hold the knees down if you wanted to. Take a breath in. As you take a breath out, we're going to move to the left, starting from the navel, the ribs, chest, shoulders, and then the head and the arm if you want to add. So think about, does it feel okay to have the arm extended? You can always bring it towards your butt, towards your hips, if it feels a little bit too intense for the shoulder, or back to the ribs. Breathe into the back, breathe into the belly. If it feels any pinpointed sensation or dull, achy sensation, you're going to back it up until you don't feel that. Bring the arm in and then lay totally back onto your side again to reset the spine. And just stay here for a couple of breaths. Let's go over to the other side. Get in that fetal position with this nice straight spine. Stack the knees, stack the ankles, stack the hips. Bring the arms out. Stack the shoulders. They're a little bit harder to stack. Bring the right hand to the right ribs. If you want to hold the knees down with the left hand, you could. Take a breath in. As you take a breath out, we're moving to the left, starting from the navel, the ribs, chest, shoulders, and then the head and the arm, if you want to add. Sometimes looking over the shoulder might be too intense, so just look up at the ceiling if it is. Palm is up. Notice where you feel any resistance in the body. That's where you send the breath. Might not be a big deep breath that gets into those tight places. It might be a little breath. All right, bring the hand back in and roll back onto your side completely and stay there for a few breaths. And let that go. All right, so one more pose before we go to Savasana. So we're going to do, and you can use your blocks for these if you want. We're going to be laying on our backs. We're going to do bound angle pose. So you're going to bring the soles of your feet together. If you want to block your thighs, you can block your thighs. And just make sure the lower back is gently pressing into the floor. And so that's a good reason to use the blocks. If you can try without the blocks and see how your lower back feels. And if it feels anything, then put the blocks underneath your thighs so it's nice and it's in the right place and it doesn't burn or anything like that. Just stay here for a few breaths, just letting gravity open up our hips. So go ahead and bring the knees back together and bring the knees towards the chest and rock a little bit. And we'll go ahead and bring the legs out straight for Savasana. So legs wider than your hips. Let your feet just fall out to the side. Really relax the thighs. Tuck the shoulders underneath you. Palms are up about 45 degrees from your thighs. Kind of wriggle around a little bit, just trying to get that back straight so you can feel comfortable, because we want to be nice and aligned, and then we want to be able to just let go in that nice aligned position. So if this isn't it for you, you might bring your knees up, pigeon toe your toes and let your knees fall together, or you could turn and lay on your side again like we did with the trunk twist, right? Any of those positions to be able to just let go here for a few minutes and just relax. Maybe take a deep breath in and a big sigh, big breath out, just to release the body into the earth.
So try to soften as much as you can. Think about all the parts of the bodies that are touching the floor. Think about all the parts of the body that are touching the floor, and think of that as very heavy and relaxed. Think of all that as very heavy and relaxed. Now think about the parts of the body that are not touching the floor, and think of those parts of the body as very light and without gravity. Your face, the front of the body, top of the legs, tops of the feet, being very light, floating, without gravity. Now try to bring those two feelings together. Think about the parts that are touching the floor as being very heavy and relaxed. And then think about the parts that are not touching the floor. And think of them as very light, airy, floating. Trying to feel those two feelings at the same time. Softening the facial muscles, relaxing the jaw. Start to get a little movement back into your fingers and your toes. Maybe move your head right and left. You really didn't stretch the neck too much today, so maybe a little bit of right and left with the neck just to give it a nice gentle stretch. And then when you're ready, bring up your knees and bring your knees towards your chest and rock a little bit. And when you're ready, rock over to the right or to the left in the fetal position. Stay there for a couple of breaths before you come up. So if you're up, bring your arms up. If you're down, just take your time getting up. Hands to heart center. Exhale. And thank you for sharing your practice with me today, guys. It's my honor. Namaste. How'd that feel? Feel all right? If you could, please sign the sheet downstairs. That's how I get credit for you guys being here. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. It was awesome.